You're driving on a country road at night. The radio's on your favorite station. You begin to sing along to a song. The wind plays with your hair through the cracked open window. Something is on the side of the road. It's big, hunched like a squatting man. You slow down. It's late. Does someone need your help? If your engine wasn't idling and your radio not playing, you'd notice all natural ambient noise. Every bird, each cricket, possibly even the wind, was silent. The figure straightens. It's 7 feet tall on 2 legs. It has dark brown or gray fur, the head of a wolf. It has a muscular torso like a hairy man or an ape. Does it even taper to the waist? Are its eyes orange? Red? They shine, it seems, in no light. It cradles part of a deer in its forearms. You can smell rot faintly through your cracked window. Is it the deer you smell? Or the creature? The creature lets out a strange cry, a howl and scream combined, and drops the deer. You take off just as it speeds toward you. It hits your vehicle and slightly rocks it. You break speed limits all the way home, hardening your chest. You run into your house without looking back. Later than usual, you drift into an uneasy sleep. In the light of day, you think you were being silly, misremembering. Shadows make things seem larger, elongated. It was a rural area, and wolves are nocturnal hunters and can hunt solo. Maybe it was a wild dog, or even a bear with mange. Scary things to see at night by yourself, especially if you're a city dweller, but entirely plausible, natural. You go out to your vehicle, and as you walk around it, you see long scratches on the passenger side. A memento from last night. If it's not a normal wolf or bear you saw, what is it? Could it be a new species from interbreeding of different species of wolves? The gray and eastern wolves are starting to share habitats in the Midwest. Could wolves who are being hunted to extinction be evolving rapidly? Maybe even developing bipedalism? Or could it be something else? A cousin to Bigfoot, possibly a werewolf. Many states have legends of dogmen, hybrid beasts of wolf/dog and man. Michigan, Wisconsin's neighbor across the lake, has dogman legends from the 1800s. Same brown, gray, or black fur. Same howl that sounds almost like a scream or a yell. Wolf-like or even sometimes a bear-like shaped head. It can be found on 2 legs or 4, but often 2. It is seen mostly at night, digging or eating a carcass. Canada once had paw prints that were 7.5 inches in length and approximately 7 feet apart for the stride. In Michigan, after someone thought they saw the beast, they ran into the woods and found this paw print. It has a shotgun shell in it to showcase the length. It is approximately 10 to 12 inches long. A normal wolf paw print tops out at 5.5 inches at the largest. In Canada, they have tales of the Amarok, a legendary lupine of Inuit folklore, a godlike creature who kills lone hunters at night. Some say the Amarok is the beast of Bray Road. The beast of Bray Road is more aggressive than regular dogmen, if that is what it is. It scratches vehicles, jumps on them, sometimes even chases people, but has never killed or hurt anyone. And that can't be claimed of every dogman story in America. The first sighting of the Bray Road beast was in 1936 in the town of Elkhorn, Wisconsin. Mark Shackleman, who 33-year-old, was a night watchman at a local school. He saw a creature digging in a Native American burial mound that first night. The second night, he saw it again. They locked eyes. The creature vocalized 3 syllables and ran off. Some say the syllables were gibberish. Some say the creature said Gadara, which is referenced in the Bible as the place where Jesus met a man who was possessed by a demon. The beast was stooped over, gorilla-like, had a stench of rotting meat. The beast is often seen around the southern half of Wisconsin, though. not just one road. But Bray Road Beast does roll off the tongue. In 1999, an 18-year-old girl was driving down Bray Road near Delavan when she says her right tire hit something, lifting it up off the ground. She stopped and got out to see what she had run over, but there was nothing there. She looked to the side of the road and saw a massive wolfish form standing on two legs. She rushed back into her car, and as she peeled away, the beast leaped onto her trunk, but slid off because of the slick rain, and she sped home. Another account comes to us from a Reddit user by the name of Not Ken Dorsey. They say, I lived in the town of Franklin, Wisconsin. This was about 1997 or 1998. We had just moved into a brand new subdivision and were currently the only house that was built. The rest of the area for a long distance was empty lots on what used to be the adjoining farm's old land. Our backyard had a running creek. On the other side of the creek was some brush and a single-lane road with a wooden street light that had gave off an orange hue about 30 or so yards away. It was a warm summer night, and I was having a sleepover with one of my friends. We had all the lights off and were playing hide-and-seek in the dark. I went back into our sunroom and saw something crouched over, illuminated through the brush and orange streetlight. I'm not sure how to describe the body posture. You know how when you're about to throw up and you hunch over on your knees and palms? It was similar to that. Its breaths were so deep and heavy you could see the chest heaving from that distance. We had a 140-pound Akita who stood 6 feet on its hind legs. I could easily tell that whatever this was dwarfed my Akita. I also know that it wasn't any type of dog or wolf. Its hind legs were thick and muscular like a man's, but its body tapered at the abdomen, and the head was like a wolf or a canine. I called out to my friend who came over and said, "What the fuck is that?" to me, trying not to make too much noise. We sat there as it was hunched for a good 30 minutes. My dad, who is a hard-ass Vietnam vet, came out to see what the hell we were doing up so late. We asked what it was, and he just said, "I don't know." He then went outside, and we stayed in. He had one of those old mega lights that had the power of 1,000 candles and took it with him. He stood in the driveway and shined it on to whatever we were watching. It looked back at us, and I honestly don't remember its eye color. What I do remember is that when it took off into the brush, it took off upright, like a sprinter on the all-four stance. My dad heard it splash through the creek and hightailed it in. It was one of those fucked up moments you don't really talk about because people think you were crazy. When I heard about it so many years later, I immediately recalled that I had seen it, the Bray Road Beast, too. Linda Godfrey became the Bray Beast expert and wrote multiple books on it, but she started off as a skeptical reporter. Before the investigation, she thought it would be an interesting story, something that might capture people's interest for a week or two. But after her investigation, when she became a believer, she received a bunch of fan mail and letters with their own accounts. She became convinced because eyewitnesses were PhD holders, cops, farmers, teenagers, factory workers, all kinds of people. People who didn't want to see the beast again. It was such a varied type of person that saw it, because there was no type of person who saw it, that it made her believe it was credible and not a hoax cooked up by one type of person. But just because, and I want to make this clear, people think they've seen something doesn't mean they have. Our imagination wants to draw links to things. So if you see a bear at night and you're not used to it, especially if it comes charging toward you to protect a cub or something, you will definitely see something out of your nightmares. Almost definitely. But some people, they know what the wilderness looks like. I mean, they're farmers. If they've been out at night, they've probably seen coyotes, wolves. So then, what is it? Linda Godfrey actually had a hypothesis. I think she thought of many, but one I found particularly interesting. Godfrey hypothesized that it's an extra-dimensional critter. She said it might be some type of guardian of sacred sites, because sightings almost always coincided with effigy mounds. Effigy mounds are raised piles of dirt built in the shape of a large animal or other symbol, used in ceremonial or rites or occasionally burial purposes. I find this interesting because it's parallel to the first sighting. The man, Shackleman, first saw the beast digging in a Native American burial mound. So, did she cook up that hypothesis after reading the first account and went digging? Apparently, Wisconsin has the most effigies in the states, possibly even most parts of the world. So that is something to consider. But after the 90s, sightings slowed down. But within the last dozen years, people have reported seeing the creature in Rock, Walworth, and Jefferson counties, including incidents where a creature was cited to have run alongside a woman's vehicle at 55 miles per hour, and when two men in an Elkhorn quarry reported seeing the creature standing on two legs and emitting a sound described as a combination of a howl or a yowl. This from the Gazette Extra from Janesville, Wisconsin. Now, I would like to play a video from a DNR employee who claimed to have seen the creature in 2006.
That put Steve Kruger on the front lines of the hunting zone. After college, he got a job working sanitation, clearing Wisconsin roads of deer and roadkill.
I've spent a lot of time in the woods and seen a lot of crazy things. This beats all of it by a long shot.
Now this man is like DNR or DNR adjacent.
Deer carcasses along the roadways throughout the state. There's no precipitation. It was just a really nice, cool evening. I was driving and I came across a small deer carcass. It was a small 80-pound doe. So I threw down the tailgate, picked up the deer and tossed it into the back on top of the ATV ramp. And I hopped back into my cab, got the clipboard out and started filling out the paperwork.
What had been a quiet night was about to receive a jolt.
At first, when the truck shook, I thought it was the wind. So I ignored it the first time, started filling out the paperwork again.
When the truck rocked again, it couldn't be ignored.
I really felt like something heavy got into the back end of the truck. And that's where I saw the creature. The whole entire creature was about 7 feet tall, looked like basically a large wolf head on top of a bear's body. This was not a bear.
Then, it made a move toward the front of the truck.
It scared the dickens out of me. I became panicked and I realized I just needed to get out of there. It came down to a choice of fight or flight, and I chose the flight.
DNR stands for the Department of Natural Resources. Steve Kruger had said he had seen almost every type of wildlife Wisconsin had to offer, even late at night due to his job, including wolves, bears, and coyotes. I found it interesting that he maintains it was none of those things when he is used to seeing them. It was also interesting in his interview that didn't make it to this particular cut that the heavy metal ramp he used to load up the bigger carcasses was also pulled off the back of his truck. By the sound of it, it was not an easy feat for an animal to do, along with pulling off the 80-pound doe. Outside of 2006, in 2018, someone claimed to have caught a photo of the beast. Yes, right there is what they say it is, and is from Danny Morgan, claimed that he saw it on the side of the road, that it was over 7 feet tall. Looking at this photograph, I do not see a beast here. I'm not sure what I'm seeing, but it doesn't look like it's 7 feet tall. I know that I did not take like a wider picture, but in the picture, it didn't look like it could have been that big. And if you look at the forearms of the creature, plus the bottom half and the top, they just don't align to me. It looks like a weird furry costume or something of the kind. To me, that does not scream creature, especially the forearm that's furthest away from the camera almost looks like some kind of weird bones and not a whole leg. I'm not sure if you understand what I'm saying. Maybe I'm seeing something incorrectly, but I don't see this particular photo as evidence, but it is the most recent actual evidence we have. The most recent sighting, as far as I can tell, was documented in 2020. Someone claimed to have seen it twice, 2 different days, in broad daylight, but they had absolutely no camera. As technology becomes more advanced, shouldn't we see better images? Humanity is more numerous than ever before, so more sightings should be common, especially if there's more than one beast of Bray Road. If it's going to breed, if it's going to continue, if it's a natural creature, shouldn't there be more? Shouldn't we see different types, different families, different stuff like that? The one from 1936, the ones in Michigan in like the late 1800s, shouldn't be the same creature. But maybe there are a lot more. Maybe we don't see them, even with technology, because Wisconsin is over 46% forested land. That's like half the state almost. And if you were a creature who mostly stayed in the woods, you would have an awful lot of places to hide.